Oh, that's not be so bad then, will it? Right, our line's starting to move, mate. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Got it. Yeah, good one. Stop this here, Terry. Strun roars away down there, right down the bottom of the right hand corner.
Yeah. That's good to know. Look, lifeboats. What's the lifeboat drill? Oh, every man for himself.
I'll have them in here.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, put that underneath it. Now we've got something on video that you don't normally see.
Hey,
I say we've got something on video that you don't normally see, haven't we?
Yeah. We've got the suspension on the shunter. The shunters on the furries usually spin the seats.
Yeah.
It's all right now.
Get some of these trucks coming in. Yeah.
Completely spins.
Turn it right round. I used to drive a dump truck that were like that.
The diggers had the JCBs.
Yeah, when you sit, it spins the seat, the steering wheel and everything round.
Still letting trucks come in?
Yeah, yeah. They're on lower deck, aren't they?
Are we here yet?
Not yet.
Sawyers, freezer wagons. Done a job of getting that in there, hasn't he?
Yeah.
That's close. You couldn't have put that in with a track unit. Track unit would be too high.
Oh,
This,
yeah, yeah.
with the cannabis. Six Brothers exhaust.
Where's the captain?
Have your fish and chips free as well.
I should think so. So we get it sunny, it will not be so bad, eh?
Yeah.
See, we'll have sun on this side, won't we?
What one we're going to have?
Yeah.
You can't do until we get the headland.
Yeah.
Then we want to be on the other side when about an hour in their journey.
Yeah.
You'll see the Isle of Craig. Is it the Isle of Craig it's called?
I don't know.
You never seen it? Like a rock?
No. I've seen a crack like, but I've never seen a rock. It's nice, isn't it? we get over there, we might get some out. But I'm not hungry now. You know, I don't need out on boat. I'm all right.
We're in a sandwich will keep me going.
Well, that's it.
For a couple of hours anyway.
And at last, the most relaxing and enjoyable way to cross the Irish Sea. Taste on this Emily serves fantastic winter food and drink. Our family is to adults, empty to kids, and up to 4 drinks, including meals on all watch drinks, for an incredible £26 per family. Or take advantage of the latest Release Coffee House offers and indulge in a delicious range of specialist coffees, snacks, and sweets. We can keep the entire family entertained with a selection of the latest movies in our cinema located in the interactive pod lounge on Deck 8. Where you'll also find ready-to-use dessert stations. Wi-Fi access is
One of the both got Wi-Fi there.
Try it. Put it on search. Listen, you're supposed to shout, "Ship ahoy!"
Start doing that.
Practice it just in case we sink.
It's just really that on the road up there was a loose chip. You know that sort of thing.
Because it's hell of a hazy, isn't it?
Beautiful, isn't it? Beautiful coastline.
One of us passes the other way of going, I was just following you back there.
Fucking, I thought surely we're not in
You
Scotland.
thought we were on the coast of Scotland, didn't you?
I did, aye.
Yeah, I did.
So where's Carrickfergus then? Further around the coast?
There's Carrickfergus.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, the castle,
The
yeah.
castle.
Ay, mira el agua como cambió.
Correct.
Hello. It's just a shame it's so hazy for the camera.
Bangor's around the corner, just around there. Here. You've got Hollywood, Bangor, Donegal Days further over the other side. place.
So this is Belfast Lock, is it?
This is Belfast Lock, yeah. See the wood there, they're collecting for the bonfire.
Yeah.
Fort William Flats. They shot. They got two Scottish brothers in there. IRA got them in there. Not the IRA. Thomas Davis Flats. There was killings in there. This here used to be a Growth Theatre.
Mm-hmm.
Massive picture house and a massive, like a big massive theatre. depends how many strokes. I'll be careful. I was looking on the left hand side. Something building that in it.
Sammy, there you go. You're on video now. I'll get you on YouTube. Put a wee caption underneath you.
He thought it was only marble slab, but it was only glass. how they get in?
Remember you paid last year?
Yeah, but there's no ticket office here.
Well, that's in there. To give it.
What, the old building?
No, you're in the pub.
Sorry.
The whole grand.
Yeah, but he'll be taking them back in his van.
Oh, well, I stripped them down. Every part will be new. The smoke. The ship them out.
They opened up a container and one of them big boats over there.
That was Betty in the boat.
It's the bow, isn't it?
Maybe it's a repeat.
Surely that's not. No, that's not off the Titanic. They wouldn't have brought that up. It's too small anyway.
It must be up somewhere ship. Didn't say here, no.
Oh dear, somebody's got hay fever. Yeah, it's a gate. Yeah. It'll let up passengers or what they call it, stuff out to it. Well, you know, when she was moored up and whatever.
That and 8 by 2 in the morning. Slipper.
Floated out of the dock after her fit out. After the Maddock had first arrived at the dock, the hollow casing, or dock gate, was filled with water so that it would sink into a slot. At point 2, at the entrance of the dock. Now that the dock was sealed, the water in the dock was pumped out through the pump well, situated under the pump house, seen at point 3.
This building was opened in 1933 for the new Northern Ireland for every day of the year, and it's got 365 windows for the same reason. It's got 6 floors and six pillars for the 6 counties in Northern Ireland, and that obsessive attention to detail is repeated throughout the interior of the building. Straight ahead of us you'll see a statue of Edward Carson, the Unionist champion I was telling you about. Strangely enough, the last thing he wanted was for Ireland to be partitioned. He wanted the whole of Ireland to stay in the United Kingdom, and when it was divided into 2, he felt that he had failed, and he he was disillusioned and he left Ireland never to come back again. When he died, they buried him at St Anne's Cathedral in Belfast. Now, as you can see, it's a big white building, and there was concerns during the Second World War that it was too easily seen by the Luftwaffe. This would act like a big signpost saying, that way to the shipyards, go and bomb over there. So somebody said, why don't we paint it black? And they painted it black using a mixture of bitumen, and this is the bit you're really going to like, bitumen and cow manure. Because somebody said that if you mix the cow manure, it would make the bitumen come off easier. Well, if 30 men taking 8 years to take it off is easy, then it must have worked. You can still see that they never managed to get it absolutely clean. If you just look at the top there. Belfast, like George Best, etc. And they're more further on down. East Belfast, and then once we're through it, about 10 more yards, you need to quickly swivel your head round over your left shoulder, and you'll see a military organisation, as that's the Titanic, and then look over your other shoulder. And coming up now on your left, just take a look down there, and there's another one coming up here. It's called McMaster Street, and it's on your left, and it'll give you a clear idea. That's what most of the streets and houses around here used to be like. Now this is Freedom Corner, is your next stop, and you need to take a look at the second mural on your right, and this is what they call the East Belfast Mona Lisa. Look at the way the gunman follows the sights of his rifle as we move past. And on your right you'll see some bronze statues taken from a William Connor painting. He was a local artist, and he drew an awful lot of pictures of the men, the shipyard workers in the 1920s and the 1930s. Now I know that we have a number of Australians on board, both in the upper deck and in the lower deck, and I'm sure that some of you are quite happy to have air conditioning. Well, you may be surprised to know that this is the birthplace of air conditioning. This is where it was invented. And I'm not joking you. I know I could say it's got something to do with our home, the technology of air ventilation. They called it the Sirocco Works, and it's by an artist called Andy Scott, and it goes by the rather profound title of The Beacon of Hope. Well, I'm afraid to say people in Belfast don't do profound. They've given it their own name. Some call it Lula with the hula, or a non-thing with a ring, the doll on the ball. Levels would be bombed 45,000 times. And this street, you know, a lot of those buildings that you see, I mean, they have just sprung up within the last 10, 15 years. Here we go. We have one of the biggest. There are 3 free tours every day in the City Hall. But Thomas Andrews, who was the chief designer of the Harlem Wolf and was beginning to turn his thoughts towards the Titanic, he paid a visit to the City Hall. Very loved Queen Victoria well. They've got streets called Victoria Street and Great Victoria Street and Queen Street and North Queen Street and Upper Queen Street, Queen's Bridge, Queen's Island, Queen's University, and this goes on. And just to prove that we're cultured, we've got an opera house, that's it. Pavarotti sang there in 1963.
Oh, Grand Ole Opera.
And the Europa Hotel opened in 1971. World's most bombed hotel. 77 times it was bombed, kept losing its windows so often they nicknamed it the Hardboard Hotel. And just here to your left you can see the Crown Bar, one of the best examples of a Victorian gin palace. This isn't. They used a lot of Italian artisans and craftsmen to do all the fine carving, mosaic and tile work. It's not just a pub, it's a work of art. I don't know how many of you did physics, but if you did, you probably struggled with the first and second laws of thermodynamics, for which you've got to thank, or should I say curse, another Belfast guy called William Thomson, better known to the world of science as... They buried the victims of the plague just about 400 yards from where we are, just in a graveyard. And the interesting thing is that back-to-back terraced houses. It's going to take us a wee while to get down there, so here's a little sidebar of information. Down at the bottom of Tate's Avenue here was an area, it's an area known as the Village. And it's named after, it got its name when American GIs stayed here during the Second World War. And they just loved the little town, the little streets and the little pubs and the little shops. And so they said it's just like a village, and the name has stuck ever since. Together, it also acts as a peace wall, because the Donegal Road, which begins at Shaftesbury Square, is Unionist or Loyalist at one end, and where it joins the Falls Road, it's Nationalist or Republican. And in the middle, that was going to be one of those fault lines where the fun and games would happen. And there used to be a peace wall there, but what this road did was it acted like a cordon sanitaire. It's sort of a huge firewall, if you like, a demilitarized zone which basically created this no man's land in between these two parts of the Donegal Road. The wall that you see, English artist from Nottingham, his name is Wolfgang Buttress, and it cost about 600,000 quid, and it's called The Rise. As you can see, it's made up of two spheres, one inside the other, and it celebrates the beginning of a new dawn, a new beginning. A new history is to start. Very profound. But as I've told you before, with the thing on the ring, the people of Belfast don't do profound. The nationalist end of the Donegal Road, heading straight up there onto the Falls Road. Look out on your left shortly, about 300 yards from here, you'll see the first of two commemorative gardens to the IRA. This one's called St James's Park. And you'll see it, we're just coming through this traffic light here. We're about 30 yards away and it's coming up there. That sort of rough stone pillar thing. That's St James's Park. The Falls Road has changed the measure. It's called Cundamon, and that's the female section of the IRA. Yeah, you can see it there. She escaped being executed, partly because she was a woman, partly because the government realised that attitudes were turning very badly. And that's on Coterland there, just ahead of you to your right. And on your left there's a mural there commemorating those killed by plastic bullets. And you'll notice that the street names here are in both English and in Irish. Straight ahead of you is the Royal Victoria Hospital, parts of Belfast. And during the Troubles, it got a worldwide reputation as a centre of excellence for the treating and pioneering work it did in treating bomb blast injuries and bullet wounds, and also for the reconstruction. And they donated this park coming up. They will begin a lengthy campaign to have it reinstalled. And that would climax in 1981. Dublin at the General Post Office. That's it there on your left. The leader of the hunger strikes was a guy called Bobby Sands, and he was the first of 10 who would die on hunger strike. And you're going to have to look over your left shoulder because the mural is on the wrong side. We've had a word with Sinn Féin about this and see can they turn their offices around. Don't seem too keen on that idea. Now if you look over your left shoulder, you'll see the Debbie Sands mural. That's it there. Can I remind you that you have to go to the bus stop in front of Falls Road? And straight ahead of you, you'll see the Divis Tower. That used to be one of a pair of flats, Divis Flats. And because of its location, it was a great...
I can't just stop anywhere. It's illegal. I need to stop at bus stops.
It's leaving anything over.
So the army, they commandeered the top 2 floors and the roof of it as a permanent lookout post, changing the guard with helicopters landing on the roof, etc. And this is Northumberland Street. We're going to be leaving the Falls, and this is the longest one that we're going to be going through. Checkpoint Charlie. During the Troubles, these gates would not have been open. People just did not go from one into the other. It didn't happen. And yet you can see it does. So we have come an awfully long way. They close these gates about 6 o'clock every night and 3 o'clock on a Sunday. Not because there's any particular trouble or anything like that there. It's kind of a comfort thing. It's become a kind of a tradition. We look forward to the days whenever there will be no gates necessary to close. We have it, the longest peace wall in Belfast. And it's 3 miles long, and it runs from West Link on our left all the way up to Divis Mountain on our right. Now I want to remind you that this is not just a piece of show for visitors. This is still very much a working wall. It is our hope that it will come down one day and it will not be here at all. However, they canvassed the people on both sides of this wall, asked them, do you want us to take it down? And 62% of them said, not yet. So it is something that we aspire to getting rid of this thing. It's actually higher than the Berlin Wall, and it's been in existence for longer than the Berlin Wall. People come around and they look at it, and it's become both a symbol of division as well as a symbol of hope to a certain extent, that people have come along, and you can actually come along and just visit this. A lot of credit's given to the politicians who worked hard to come up with a peace formula in 1998. What some people don't realise is that the paramilitaries on either side had to come up with their own. So it was that the paramilitaries on both sides, say the UVF on the Loyalist side, the IRA on the Republican side, they had to get together, they had to talk turkey and thrash things out. But they had to have a venue to do it. Now on the other side of this peace wall there is a monastery called Clonard Monastery, and the monks there, they offered it so that they could put their cards on the table and talk turkey. And there's a small door here just on the side here to the left. Very unassuming little door, and that's where they would go through into the monastery on the other side of that wall. And those are called the automatic gates because should there ever be the need, and I want to reiterate that there isn't any need at the minute, certainly not, they can close those gates at the flick of a switch from Tennant Street Police Station. Now if you look to your left, just look now as we're coming level with this street here, it's called Calverton Street, and that's one of the last few remaining rows of terraced houses. They used to occupy all of this area, all around here. Our next stop is at the Spectrum Centre. On the Newtonards Road you remember seeing a mural of two guys with balaclavas and AK-47s. They were members of a loyalist paramilitary group called the UVF. Well, you're going to see another one coming up here on your left. And the reason for that is that their anonymity is no longer needed. And that's because they're dead. What's them there? These are just many of the thousands of murals that are about. Shankill saw a lot of violence, I saw a lot of bombing, shootings, riots. As late as 1990s there was a bombing in a fish and chip shop here, Frizzell's. It's now a credit union place. It's just coming up on your left, that blue one with the red. Just through the zebra crossing here, that's it there. And that's where 9 were killed. And shortly afterwards, there was a reprisal in a pub at Grey Steel where they shot up